Gotta go fast.
I mean, you gotta. What else are you gonna do?
Gotta start the episode of the podcast fast.
Gotta jerk off fast.
Do you remember when Game Grumps were doing the Sonic and the Black Knight playthrough, and he was like, "Wonder how old Melina is. Better ask fast." That was crazy.
I see a lot of artists skirting around the awkward question of official ages of characters these days just by putting in like their things like all characters depicted are 18 plus. It's like, yep, that just throw the blanket over that. That all of a sudden makes all of these characters we'll just imagine.
That's not how it works. That is most certainly not how it works.
Anyway.
Well, welcome back to Closing Shift 2024 edition. Welcome to the new year. It's a good new year. There's an election happening in November, and oh wait, the election already happened.
Oh
shit.
Oh, that was like a week ago.
Yes, the election was literally like 2 weeks ago for everyone. So sorry we're getting to it so late, but also not sorry because I don't think any of us want to confront it. But yes, Donald J. Trump, the first felon to be elected to the presidency, is going to be the 47th president of the United States.
And the second president to ever serve a split term.
And yes, the second president to ever do that, who I believe the first one was Nixon, if I'm correct.
Nope, it was Grover Cleveland.
Was it? Okay. Something else had to do with Nixon that related to Trump, but I forget what it was.
Oh, being impeached.
Oh, is that what it was?
Probably.
I don't know, he's done so many things. It's just he could relate to so many people. He says it like it is, you know?
Yeah, it's just, he speaks God's honest truth.
He just does, and that's just what's so great about him. I actually did watch quite a bit of SNL on YouTube, just like the clips, and they did this hilarious thing, in my opinion, where they just like got the whole cast to be like, here at SNL, we fully support Trump. We wouldn't do anything to oppose your power, and we all totally voted for you. And this woman said like 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, and I am proud to be in the 8%. It was like, what the fuck? But it was very funny. It's just the way they did it. And also Bill Burr opened, which was crazy. I haven't seen Bill Burr in a million years, but it was very funny. He just started talking about him having COVID and like who he got it from, and he was like, I'm pretty sure I got it from this cowboy on the airplane that wasn't wearing shoes. And then after like 7 minutes of ranting about that, he was like, so I guess I should talk about the thing, right?
Last thing I've seen of Bill Burr has been when he went on Bill Maher and was just like, you realize that you're an idiot, right? Like, you think you sound smart, but you're actually a big fucking moron.
Yeah, no, Bill Burr doesn't hold back. He's done that a few different times on talk shows. But anyway, to let y'all in on this episode from the beginning, I do want to say I have the opening question for this week. I also want to welcome you guys to listen along. If you're listening on YouTube and you happen to also have Spotify, or you just can deal with the free version, you are welcome to join us in listening to Cozy Fall Autumn Cozy Fall Autumn Lo-Fi Jazz Beats 2024. It's a very long playlist name.
Cozy Fall Autumn JOI.
The playlist link will be in the description. Spotify playlist. You can listen along with us if you would like. Anyway, my opening question is not my favorite one I've ever come up with, but it is a question nonetheless in the most literal sense. My question to you is, what do you think would be the best fight between a Smash Bros character and a WWE wrestler? You can imagine it in a Smash setting or in a wrestling ring, whichever just makes more sense to you. But which two characters do you think could go at it the hardest?
I think like easy first answer for that. There already is a wrestler in Smash Bros. His name is Incineroar.
Yeah.
So I think I would like to see Incineroar up against. Oh, well, who would be a good match for Incineroar? Incineroar, he's big and he's fast and he's got
Bronson
power.
Reed.
Bronson Reed maybe, but I feel like it needs to be. I guess Bronson Reed could be somebody. It needs to be somebody who's like, gonna be like, who's gonna endure this fight. Somebody who's gonna like be able to give it back to Incineroar.
Yeah, I feel like Ivar could probably do that pretty well.
I feel like I'm doing like what's his name, Steven Smith or whoever it is that does like the sports analysis, and people ask him questions these days that are like, who would you pick from TF2 to be in your NBA lineup? And he's like, nah, I want I want this guy right here because he looks strong, and I feel like I'm doing that kind of thing. What's yeah, I guess it would just be like, yeah, Incineroar versus like Bronson Reed.
Incineroar versus Bronson Reed.
Incineroar, that's a different thing.
Yeah, I said Incineroar. I just didn't say it right. Leave me alone.
Just a little bit of vor.
Welcome. Yeah, you can't watch this movie. It's just a little vor. Yeah, it's been a better week for me than the last. I know I said in the last episode the previous week was not great for me, but it's been a better week in general. Had a lot of better days, been sleeping a lot better. How's your week going?
I think it's been pretty okay so far because I have now come around on Majora's Mask, been playing that a lot for the past week, and that is, although I was complaining about it in recent times when I had first started the game, now that I have gotten used to the systems of the game and have accepted them for what they are, I think it is actually one of the greatest games ever made, and I am greatly enjoying it, and on my way to 100%ing my first playthrough of it with no guide, just because I really like exploring the world of it. So that's been the biggest thing for like just having a decent week. But I do have another thing that happened yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. That is also a little bit of a mood booster. My grandma has her friend in town again, and every time that her friend is in town, they like to go antiquing, like to go thrifting, that kind of thing. So I took them to go antiquing and thrifting yesterday, and while doing so, I came across an espresso machine that I got for pretty cheap because, you know, it was used, and it works just fine. I'm still trying to fine-tune some stuff out of it, because right now it's really good at making foam, and I really don't want it to make as much foam, but yeah, I got that, and I got a Logitech Flight Stick controller. For those were both, you know, combined about $25. Pretty decent deal on that. Oh, and that's not even $25 for both those because I also got a couple of records with that. And one thing that I think I may want to employ your help from with an upcoming thing eventually is I got a little plug and play game that is WrestleMania. I think, let me grab this thing so I can see it. This cheap little box. It's plug and play WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. And the outside of this thing, I guess it says 25th anniversary. It's got fucking Macho Man on it and a couple other wrestlers that is kind of hard to see because it's covered by a price tag sticker for $1.49. So I want to do that for a stream segment, and I may want to employ your help when I do it, just for looking at some classic wrestling stuff. So that's been mostly my week. And listen to these buttons just for satisfaction.
Yeah, they sound like they're being pressed.
Yeah, those are buttons.
Those are buttons.
It's got two of them.
I had a lot of plug and plays as a kid. Mainly the ones I remember were the more iconic ones I had, which was like the Spider-Man one and the SpongeBob one, Pac-Man one. It was just easier.
Did you have the Spider-Man one that looked like Spider-Man's penis?
I don't think so. The one I had was shaped more like his face.
I remember having a Star Wars plug and play that I think one of my siblings still has it around. The controller was shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
Nice. Sounds not very comfortable, to be honest.
No, you were kind of like dig into your hands after a while. But I also remember there was like a Star Wars PC game I would play that I guess it had like Yoda's training academy and stuff. It was like, you know, more child oriented, and I was child. I don't even know like what year that would have even released, because it's like an old ass game. I kind of want to find what it is.
You may as well share the news.
I played the Phantom Menace game that was like, you know, it came out on like PS1 and PC and all that when I was a youth. What is this game? Oh, I think this might be it. Ages 6 to 8, Star Wars Yoda's Challenge Activity Center. Explore a galaxy of fun. Oh, this is absolutely it. Yoda's Challenge Activity Center. Holy shit, I need to fucking play this because I'm just now remembering everything of this.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Here's a little picture of it for you. You can look up the cover of this yourself. It kind of looks like Family Guy.
It does look like Family Guy. It does not look like official art at all.
Ozempic I am on.
Well,
It also has a cunty Jar Jar on the cover of it.
like a cunty Jar Jar.
Look at this cunty Jar Jar.
What? Explore a galaxy of fun. Free stickers.
Free stickers. I guess this came out in 1999, so it would have been, just before my birth that this was released, and then I grew up on it. Pretty neat.
Oh, this is made by Lucas Learning.
Yeah, LucasArts, which I don't even think... Does LucasArts even make games anymore?
I don't know.
Because I don't even know if that was if that's active at all. And the game side of it.
I don't know if they still make games.
Doesn't seem like they're around anymore.
I know they're kind of like THQ. They're like a nostalgia icon in terms of game development, but they're not like THQ's around again, but not in like that same way.
I guess they're still technically around. They're now called Lucasfilm Games. I don't know if they have even done anything in the history of forever.
Are they all dead?
I guess they're still alive, but I don't think they do anything.
Maybe now they gather materials from the woods to make book covers. Yeah, and speaking of books, I was just talking about off this camera that you can see me on. Totally. That I've been paused at the end of this book for I want to say 6 or 7 months, and I want to finish it. And its political relevancy to what's going on right now is insane because it takes place in the early 90s. And I know that there's a very strong sense of history repeats itself when stuff like this happens, but it's just crazy relevant to the immediate issue that's going on in American politics right now. But also the reason I want to finish it, and it's only 4 decently short chapters, so I'm probably going to finish it later today or tomorrow or something, is because I have Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass coming next, and that's a fantasy world book, and I've never read a fantasy world book, believe it or not.
Wow.
I read a book about a fictional world, but it wasn't it took place in the real world. It was just a fictional story. So I'm excited to get to that book. It's also a very big book, so I think it'll keep me busy for a while. But I've also been playing Link's Awakening on the Switch, which has been really fun. I'm in the I'm in the bird temple that's for the 7th wind instrument, but it's very fun and I'm almost done.
You know what's funny with Majora's Mask I've been playing is that there's a band in Majora's Mask that their most famous song is called The Ballad of the Windfish.
That makes sense. There's an insane amount of Nintendo franchise references, including so many. I would argue most of the enemies in Link's Awakening are just Mario enemies.
Oh yeah.
Or other Nintendo characters. Even the song I had to get to unlock the bird key to get into this temple is just a boss theme from Mario Brothers 2.
I think that's
wow.
Mario Bros. The Mario 3 on the NES. I think World 3 theme for it. It is the same melody, and it's interpreted from the same song as the Fairy Fountain in Legend of Zelda. They both have the same bum 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 bum, the same chord progression that it was used for both games, but in completely different ways.
They've made a lot of different variations of that Fairy Fountain song. A lot of the music in Link's Awakening sounds a lot more short and cut off. The instruments don't sound as airy, but it's good. It fits the little cute top-down theming well. And it just kind of matches that theme. I don't know how else to describe it.
I think it is a little bit fascinating, the bravery of it for the original Link's Awakening, that being a game on Game Boy, to make a whole game about musical instruments with the Game Boy sound chip in mind. It is rather ambitious.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it back then because I'm never going to play that version, but on the Switch it comes off very nicely. That's probably why they remade it, because it had so much potential to be better.
Gotta be better.
And it is a fun game. It's got a lot of fun movement, in the way you kind of develop a sense for looking for stuff in Metroid. That's what I've developed for Zelda. I've gotten a lot better at knowing when something's a secret in Zelda and solving puzzles in Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm on my 3rd game majorly played of Zelda this year, and this will be the 2nd game I've finished. I started a Twilight Princess playthrough a while ago, but I just never finished it. But I definitely should go back and finish it after this. But I'm kind of on a like an impromptu Zelda mission right now. I did not plan on becoming obsessed with the Zelda franchise, but I just can't stop playing them because they're so fun.
Zelda month, it's real.
So, well, I mean, yeah, but this has been like my entire year. And we'll probably go deep into next year, if not the next few years. But I also want to make time for stuff like these books and whatever, because even my Switch, I've been bringing to work and playing it on my break, just because I can fit in a quick half hour of Link's Awakening, because it's a tiny little game, so it doesn't take that much effort.
Yeah.
I've only had to use the walkthrough a couple times, but other than that, it's been okay.
I think that's the biggest thing I'm proud of myself for as going through Majora's Mask. That the version of Majora's Mask I've been playing has, I don't know why, it's because I'm not playing it on original hardware. There's an item in Majora's Mask called the Bomber's Notebook that is supposed to basically be your quest tracker, and it holds on to every piece of relevant information you would need to start and finish quests. But it does not work at all for me. If I try and use the Bomber's Notebook, it just causes a bunch of graphical, like flashing on the screen and never opens. So I can't use it at all. And even with that, through just like trying to figure out the rules of how Majora's Mask works and like really getting into the world of it, I've been doing just fine without it. And it feels extremely rewarding to just like be able to figure something out, a puzzle in the game, just off of like that intuition, off of like what I've learned from previous puzzles to then try and like find other secrets by applying the same rules.
Oh yeah, I'm killing it in terms of Zelda Instinct, which I'm also very proud of. It is incredibly rewarding just because we happen to be playing Zelda games at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's very satisfying to enjoy something that takes your brain hostage and for you to be able to solve and crack it.
I think that's what makes them so immersive to get into, is just that they always operate on a set of rules that if you can get in tune with, you really feel like you like understand the world. And you feel like anything is possible at that point.
Right. On top of the already pretty nice music and graphics.
Yeah.
Because every Zelda game looks incredibly different besides like a couple of them.
It's all pretty nice.
Except for Zelda 2. Fuck Zelda 2. That game's shit.
I think that one just needs a good remake.
It better be one goddamn good remake then.
I think the potential for Zelda 2 is absolutely there. I think that it is just held back by it doing things that hadn't really been done before. And now if you wanted to make like, platformer adventures exist now in a great degree, I think that a Zelda 2 could absolutely exist in a modern context with modern quality of life. I think just the era that it came out in is what holds it back. There's some like cool stuff in that game.
They probably have to add quite a bit to accommodate it to today's market and standards. It's like if they released Zelda 1, like just releasing a game where you just walk around as Link in sand would be kind of boring.
Yeah.
And semi-difficult to figure out. It wouldn't be like the worst game ever, because obviously Zelda was a hit.
That's where you really start to get into the era of Zelda games that, like, it's nice when they get a remake just for the sake of a couple quality of life things and for graphics, but once you hit the N64 for Zelda, or even, like, Link to the Past is, like, good on its own, but you start to hit these games where there's a lot of characters and a lot of things in the world that can actually feed you information to help you understand what's happening better. Like, there's the Gossip Stones in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask that, in Majora's Mask, it's like a big source of hints, and a lot of information is just from going and talking to the Gossip Stones, but you can only get those after you get, like, a certain item that allows you to talk to them. But, like, from that point, it's like, oh, thank God there's some mechanism to, like, key you in to things that would otherwise be completely archaic and unknown.
Right.
I think that's really the biggest thing that a lot of the classic games miss is just, like, since games don't come with manuals anymore, that there's a lot of things in like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 that you would really only know if you read the manual that came in the box with the game, that you would never think to do just through normal gameplay.
Right. Especially if you're like, for some reason, like a 10-year-old going on your Nintendo Online NES emulator. Because, like, you're not going to know how to do shit.
There are a lot of people now who really just like full stop do not want to give any try at all to any retro games, and it's kind of sad.
And that's interesting, but I can see the kind of people like that existing. It's hard to explain, but it's like it makes sense in the general sense of today. That doesn't necessarily make it like fun to be like that, but it's just the way you're bred, I guess, the way the internet brings you up nowadays, because honestly, it does it more than parents do at this point.
Yeah.
The internet will raise the future.
And judging by recent events, not very well.
Nope, they'll just funnel their insecurities into their children. Fear mongering.
Whatever you get told to be afraid of first, that's what you're going to stick with. And speaking on that, I now have this week's segment that I really don't really have a great way of gamifying this, but I do basically every week this section, Save the Date, where I read articles from old newspapers, and it is typically the responsibility of my co-host here to guess either when they were published or something else about the articles. And I guess for this we can do a bit of guessing, because only one of these actually states a date inside of it for the year. So I guess we'll just do that. But I'm not going to be giving options this week for when these were published because of the nature of these.
Okay.
Emmy, are you ready for this information?
I guess so.
Our first article, I have 4 here, and I'm going to try and get through them a little bit quick. Asquith admits liberals upset. Result of elections call for party's complete reorganization, he says. London, November 10th. Former Premier Asquith, leader of the Liberal Party, told Liberal members of Parliament at a luncheon today that a committee of experts was working on a complete reorganization of the party, which needed, he said, an overhauling from top to bottom. Mr. Asquith said that there was no use of disguising the serious nature of the party's setback in the recent election, but declared that liberalism was far from dead. Mr. Lloyd George, who since his retirement from the premiership has been associated with Mr. Asquith in the party leadership, declared there was, quote, nothing in the situation which ought to dismay us, end quote. Meantime, he added, the party had valuable work to do in the House of Commons. In connection with today's meeting, it was reported in political circles in Liverpool that a seat in the House might be found for Mr. Asquith in Denbighshire. The Liberal leader failed to win a re-election from the Paisley constituency in the late election. It is understood Mr. Lloyd George has already taken action with a view toward finding the Denbighshire seat for Mr. Asquith. Any immediate guess on the year of publication? That's just one of 4.
I mean, not really.
All right, here is the second article within this. Exercises to mark completion of drive. Zionist district campaign reported to have been complete success. Fitting exercises at the YMHA building tomorrow night will mark the close of the membership drive of the Washington Zionist District, according to Max Rode, chairman of the campaign. He said reports coming to him from various teams indicate that the drive has, quote, gone over the top, end quote, and that more than the quota of 1,000 members has been reached. Following the meeting tomorrow night, local Zionist organizations will send a, quote, shekel to the World Zionist Organization for every new member recruited. This fund will go directly toward the development of Palestine and will remain untouched by, quote, overhead expenses. Dr. Louis J. Schweffel, rabbi of the Adas Israeli Synagogue, and Dr. Julius T. Loeb, rabbi of the Ohev Shalom Synagogue, president and vice president respectively of the Washington Zionist Group, will address the meeting tonight. A representative from the Zionist Organization of America is also expected to address the meeting. Reports will be made at the meeting by the heads of the various divisions. They are Miss Frank T. Rosenberg of the Women's Division, Jacob Heckman of the Men's Division, and Jack Horenstein of the Nordau Zion section. Heckman's division is leading at present in the number of members enrolled. And just to give a little bit of added context of this, although I will not say just yet still what is the date of publication of this, but in the year that this was published, where they were doing a membership drive for this, quote, development of Palestine, that was when 80,000, now what you would now consider to be Israeli people, then went and occupied parts of Palestine. 80,000 in that year. On to our third bit of article. Demonstration held by British fascisti gather at Nelson Monument and demand rigid anti-sedition law. London, November 10th, with the avowed object of preventing any possible communist demonstrations in Trafalgar Square on, quote, Armistice Sunday. A large body of British fascisti gathered in the square yesterday wearing black and silver badges. All were grouped under unit standards with large brass bands which played patriotic airs. The demonstration attracted an enormous crowd. It is estimated that more than 10,000 persons were present. Brigadier General Blakeney, president of the movement, delivered a fiery speech in which he demanded the exclusion of aliens who aggravated the unemployment situation and fostered the growth of communism. The speaker called upon the government to pass a drastic anti-sedition bill. 2 huge wreaths were exhibited on Nelson's column during the demonstration. These later were carried in procession and deposited on the tomb of Great Britain's unknown soldier. A large force of police was present in Trafalgar Square to maintain order, but its presence was not necessary. Still, any guesses on when this was published?
Good God, I can't believe you expect me to remember everything you said on that. That was crazy. I mean, I don't know. I'm realizing now that the reason I have trouble remembering this stuff is the same reason I can't just, like, listen to lectures. I need to, like... I need to either be like taking notes on what you're saying slowly, or like I need to be the one reading these.
I can send you these so you can look at them yourself, because none of these contain dates within them. If you want to go back over those for notes. This next one that I will read does have a date within it, and it is the most pertinent of these.
Why are they so thin?
Oh, because that's just, since they're published in columns, they're published vertically.
What, this is like TikTok before TikTok. It's like an info TikTok.
Yeah.
It's like portrait mode news.
They're all crammed in there.
I like my news portrait mode.
Yeah, any immediate guesses on the year of publication?
These are all about the same. Are these all about the same topic?
These are all published on the same day in the same paper.
So they're not all necessarily about the same exact topic.
This first one here is about a fascist rally happening in London. The other one is about how the Liberal Party in London lost election in this year and said that it was because the party needs a complete restructuring that it failed. And the other one is a membership drive for Zionism for the purposes of raising money to colonize more parts of Palestine. Again, all of these same day, same paper. If you have no guesses, then I will just read this final article.
Yeah, you may as well.
All right, this one is going to give away the year. Democratic goat seeking. Now those Democrats who want to find out which particular blow it was that, quote, almost killed father, end quote, last Tuesday, are digging into the election returns to see how the McAdoo supporters behaved toward the party nominee. And according to some figures just printed in one of the party organs that has never been particularly partial to Mr. McAdoo, there is evidence of a disposition on their part either to stay at home or to support the third party ticket. Thus, it is pointed out with a statistical table offered as evidence that, for example, in Tennessee, one of the strongest McAdoo states, the Davis vote was about 40,000 less than the vote given in 1920 to Cox. In Kentucky, it is also noted Davis received nearly 100,000 votes less than Cox. California gave Davis 125,000 votes less than it gave Cox. All of these were McAdoo states at the New York Convention. So harsh are the asperities of the post-election Democratic discussion that question is even raised as to the genuineness of the illness of Mr. McAdoo, which prevented his participation in the campaign. There is, it is true, public record of an operation, but hints the opposition there are operations and operations, and they suggest that this was a most untimely one from the point of view of democratic welfare. Has it come to this that Mr. McAdoo must produce a physician's certificate to the effect that surgery was necessary? All these things are the natural aftermath of defeat. It is inevitable that there should be search for a, quote, goat. First, it was Lafayette, but Lafayette was originally a Republican and can hardly be used for Democratic Party blame-bearing. Now it is McAdoo's turn, or rather the turn of his followers. All of this is very interesting, but not so much to the point as that in the judgment of most observers of the recent political campaign, the person chiefly responsible for the Democratic defeat was Calvin Coolidge. And I will also send a screenshot of that your way. So, these articles that I just read for you here, all of these were published in the Evening Star on November 10th, 1924. Zionists are rising to power. Democrats and liberals are losing positions of power because they failed to rally their bases appropriately, which caused people to either not vote or to vote third party, which also coincided with a rise in fascism in these areas. 100 years ago to the fucking day!
Well, that's history for you. Repeating itself.
Ain't that fascinating?
It's fascinating.
Fascinating.
It's fascinating.
So yeah,
It's about fascism.
You can take that information any which way you want to take it. But we are quite literally the fact that we had both a global pandemic of a sickness, and then followed by a gigantic economic crash, a rise in fascism, a loss of democratic and liberal powers, a rise in Zionism. All of these things, we are literally living in a fucking clone world of the 19th century. It's all happening again. Beat for fucking beat.
Yep. It sure is. There's really nothing for me to add. That is what it is.
That is just incredibly relevant information to everything happening right now.
Take that, liberals.
Even down to the fucking scapegoating, which is now occurring on social media of people trying to find who to blame for the fact that the fucking Democratic campaign this year literally campaigned on nothing and did nothing and lost accordingly. And it's all like the same shit.
And I just heard in the other room Luffy scream for like 30 seconds straight.
Luffy is also disparaged by this information.
Yeah. America just can't seem to find the One Piece. America will never be king of the pirates.
If there was like a One Piece of America, what would the One Piece be?
I don't really know what the actual One Piece is. I mean,
does.
if it's just an object, then like maybe George Washington's left nut. I don't know. Maybe it's just in a jar, or like Walt Disney's frozen head or something. I don't know what America's One Piece would be. Maybe there's just like a flag that's like really special compared to the other flags for some reason. That's the One Piece.
The first one that was ever woven by Betty.
By Betty.
Whatever her name was, Betty something.
Crazy American bitch Betty.
Whoever designed the first American flag.
Hey Siri, who designed the first American flag ever? Francis Hopkinson. Oh wait, I asked about who designed it. I didn't ask about who
invented the Stars and Stripes.
Because there was a version that was for the 13 colonies, wasn't there? Before there was one for the 50 states.
Well, yeah, the 50 states one was only codified in 1958. But for the original one, yeah, it was designed by New Jersey Congressman Francis Hopkinson, sewn by Philadelphia seamstress Betsy Ross. It wasn't Betty, it was Betsy.
It wasn't Betty, you stupid idiot. It was fucking Betsy.
I almost remembered her name.
How did you almost know my name?
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
When I think of that episode, I still think of Andrea's TikTok, which is genuinely pretty funny, which is like, hey, are you Minecraft 2011's girlfriend? How did you almost know my name? It's very funny. Because she did, in the beginning, she did get referred to that in high school a lot. It was like, you're Minecraft, because he wasn't even Boomer Beat TV yet.
Yeah.
He started that in 2020, I think. Yeah, he did.
And everybody
he started
knows
it after
that
I met him.
He chose that name because he was born in 2011.
Yeah.
Happy 13th birthday.
I think it's either that or it's because when 9/11 happened. I can't remember. Something like that.
Wasn't that like Angela from Smosh? It was like
Angela from Smosh. Yes.
Yeah.
She was. They were like, what was the significant cultural impact of 2011 on their Beverly show? And she was like, 9/11.
Obviously.
And then she was like, hey. I had half a cup of coffee before we did this. But yeah, that is really fucking funny to me.
We all have those moments.
Also, yeah, I mean, if you just wanted to, this series, this Front Desk series by Kelly Yang, this book I'm reading, I'm at the end of now, is a quintilogy. But you could read just the first two and be like, wow, that's still how immigrants are treated in this country. And it takes place like over 30 years ago.
Yeah. And as we see in
that was 100.
The articles I just read for you there about the fascist meeting in London, where they were doing the same shit of saying we have to get all of these aliens out because they're causing unemployment, which is literally the entire fucking thing that like the GOP has been running on for the past 15 years is illegal immigrants are causing unemployment. Like 100 years ago to the day saying they took our jobs.
There's all these news today coming out that people in Colorado are eating pets.
Oh yeah, that was they're eating the dogs.
They're eating the dogs.
Now we have spoken to the mayor and the governor of that city, and they said that is not true. That they have said there has been no reports. No, I saw it on TV. That means it's true.
No, I heard from my friends over at Fox, official news network, that, people in Ohio were eating the dogs. All these migrants, they're just eating our dogs and taking our jobs, and they're making our gas prices higher, and...
we're going to be seeing the exact same... He's just frothing at the mouth.
That's what he sounds like.
We're going to be seeing the exact same thing now with his next presidency that we saw with his first. Yeah. Which is that, if you didn't know, Donald Trump's morning routine is watching Fox News, waiting for them to say something that he like gets fired up about, or waiting for them to mention him so he can fucking jerk off.
Yeah. And then doesn't he like call in like immediately?
He waits
every
for
time
Fox News to start talking about something, and then he calls and be like, "It's all fake, it's all phony bullshit. Let me tell you."
Long time listener, first time caller.
Like he literally he's raw general manager. Just fucking...
he's the raw GM laptop.
It's
so funny.
Oh my god.
On Fox News, you just hear "Boo-doo-doo."
He said it's his favorite show because all they do is like suck his dick all day, and then he gets to like talk to all of his friends and complain for a while.
It's so funny to talk about Donald Trump in wrestling because he actually was a part of they made a huge storyline just around him and Vince being. It was Battle of the Billionaires.
Yeah, they were talking about when they did that first storyline where Vince McMahon was, like kayfabe dead. He got into the limousine and it exploded. That they said like Donald Trump like called in and like asked if Vince was okay. Like he like checked up on him.
Hey, I saw it on the TV. I was just wondering if my buddy Vince is okay. Did he recover from the limo explosion?
It was on my TV. I know Vince McMahon is dead.
One of my favorite things that came, I mean, I don't want to say it like this, not that I care that it happened, but just one of my favorite things that came out of the Trump assassination attempt, like the first one that had that famous picture of him, was this TikTok of this guy being like, was being like, you had a big opportunity, you could have made my head blow up on live TV, but you didn't do that, did you? Now, you missed so bigly, my ear is going to grow back bigger and better than ever. It's just like totally shit he would say.
You know what's crazy though with that? Is that like he doesn't even have a scar on his ear from it. There's no sign that like it was ever damaged. Like he had, when he was on Joe Rogan, he was like, look here, this is where they shot, and he could not find the scar.
I almost think that he bladed like it was a wrestling match.
Dude, like it kind of seems that way.
And they just, wouldn't that be crazy if that was all just a publicity stunt?
If you look at fucking pictures of, other people who have sustained that kind of injury to their ear, there's, a permanent cavitation there.
That Trump is fake as shit.
He went to the ground, he fucking bladed, and then, they had the American flag there ready for the fucking pose.
And the shot, that's crazy. No one gets shot and pops up like that.
I think...
Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if it came out and they, revealed all the reasons it was fake, I would totally believe you and be like, I knew it.
Yeah, just, worth mentioning that it's, there are some things about this that do not line up very well, and it would make a lot of sense for something like that to happen, of somebody who has been known to fabricate instances for publicity.
Yeah, it's crazy. So wild.
Crazy.
Unbelievable, really.
Unexplainable.
I guess actually before I forget, thankfully unrelated to him, I gotta tell you about this YouTube channel I found.
Oh yeah.
Earlier today. I found this YouTube channel earlier today. 7.3 thousand subscribers, 7.5 videos. Bro has more videos than subscribers.
7.5 videos?
Sorry, 7.5 thousand videos. My bad.
That's a lot of videos.
I know, but it's beautiful why there's so many videos. It's this channel named Kiss Cactus who has cactus emojis around the name of the channel. YouTube.com/@KissCactus. If you go to it, it's just like, he's even got like lists on his homepage, but it's just this middle-aged man, probably older man now. He started uploading, I checked, he started uploading in 2008. His most popular video for how long he's been around only has 160,000 views. God. All of his recent videos only get like, he just uploaded 16 minutes ago.
Yeah, I see that.
And he's got a video, it's got like 39 views, 18 views, 28 views. And most of what he does is like these videos that are like 10 seconds and he just says something that's literally like in the title. Mike, a Pomeranian dog. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Like, it's beautiful. And it's like, he just like talks about these like cacti he sees in the desert and stuff. Like, I don't know how to say this word, S-A-G-U. Saguaro.
People like pronounce it in their own way that they like to all the time. These cacti.
But he also just uploads like videos that are less than a minute of him just like doing a workout routine or something. It's just like, so he just like shows like nature and stuff. It's the most like, I don't get to find channels like this a lot, but I love them.
Looks like, yeah, he does like a lot of travel and all that.
I would go blow his channel up if I were you guys. His first video was Maryland's High Point, Backbone Mountain, elevation 3,360 feet in 2008. Bro has been uploading for 16 years and has not given up. Somehow he doesn't have more views. I'm actually surprised at that.
This is what content used to be and should be.
This is what it should be. That's what I love about it. Like, even when people related to gaming were back in the day and uploading like 3 or 4 minute Minecraft videos with no thumbnail, no description, I miss that kind of shit. That was my jam. Those are my jam days.
There was
like 2013, 2014.
A channel I had recommended recently that it's like, I trying to find like what the channel is called, but it's this guy that like, he just reads radio dramas in like the classic noir style, and that's just like what he does. It's just like preserving radio dramas, and he just puts it on YouTube. Nice. And he's like, you know, somebody who has not a lot of attention for it, but it's like that same kind of thing of just like somebody making something just for like the passion of it. I tried looking up like noir on Twitter, and that was a big mistake because it's all fucking porn. It's always porn.
No, not porn.
It's like TikTok and Twitter have the same problem where you try to look up like one thing, but like it's a million fucking porn accounts that are just like using that one keyword for engagement.
Well, that's just what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find this page again because it was recommended, but now I just can't even find it. It was just a guy who that's just what he did. He would like dress up in like period appropriate attire and he would like read radio noirs and he just does it.
Yeah, I know this guy, Kissing Cactus. I like immediately subscribed. I like went through like a few of his videos and then I immediately subscribed. I was kind of like checking to see if any of his content was weird or sus. But then I was like, this is just fun. This is just awesome. The world doesn't deserve Kiss Cactus.
Sometimes people they do what they do.
Sometimes people just live freely and it's fun.
I'm looking for a live freely. Anybody gonna answer to live freely? Got a call for Dick Butt Kiss?
Got a coffee here for Nut Bumpkins. Calling on Nut Bumpkins? What would be your fake prank name at like Starbucks?
Fake prank name.
Gotta be original.
If it's gotta be original, that is a tricky one because you know a lot of the greats have already been taken. I gotta think about that for a moment.
I don't know if I could pull it off, but I would probably do something along the lines of like I'm gonna have to put this on the screen as well, but just Nut Insider, but spelled like this.
Nut Insider.
Yeah. See if I can get away with that. Probably not. I feel like the world has wisened up on that. But you still get caught in it sometimes.
You could probably get away with, like, Harry Cummings.
Probably. Back shottens. got a coffee for back shottens.
I know. I think that's just kind of... It's really tread territory. Are there, like... Is there a list of, like, some of these, like, better ones that's been categorized over the years?
I'm sure someone has kept a list of them.
Let me see if I can find some of these names. I mean, The Simpsons did so many of them.
Let's see here.
I mean, the classic things for it always being like Seymour is like a very common one for it. And then you have stuff like Mike Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could pull one out of the Paper Mario 1000-Year Door and go with the name Rock Hawk. Spelled like the like ROCK Hawk. Which you just can't say too fast because it sounds like Rock Hawk. Don't know why Nintendo never caught that one.
Because why? What's wrong with it?
Well, something wrong about... Is there something funny about Rock Hawk?
Do you find something about a raw version of a man's wiener?
I mean, you know, you have Rock Hawk, but you also just have the food that's just called ramen. What's up with that?
Answer this one, liberals.
I think it's something that I mentioned it yesterday, but it still boggles my mind that it is such a common word that never gets questioned. That's just compass.
I just literally yesterday was the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I was playing Link's Awakening and I got the compass in the dungeon I was in and I called it the compass. I was like, now I'm free to come. Got the compass.
Got the compass.
That's how I prefer to say it.
I guess yeah, it is. I mean, it is spelled with PASS, but it's always piss.
I gotta go take a pass.
A compass.
Stop being such a compass.
Comping my ass.
Short for like competitive ass.
You think you could ever get away with calling something so vulgar today if the word compass was not already invented?
You mean like saying something that already exists or like making a new thing and calling it something vulgar?
Like if you were going to make a new device for like navigation to help people lost in the woods, you know, like could you get away with calling it like the shit dick?
I don't know about that one, but you could probably call it something along those lines. Maybe like the fucking device.
Fuckner.
Or something.
You could absolutely get away with it. It's spelled like FUKNIR. Right. It's like, no, you gotta bring it with you. If you're going rock climbing, you're never safe without fuckner. Wasn't there like a TV show that they had to get like a lot of approval to do? I think the name was like Falkers, and it's pronounced like Fockers. And they had to prove.
There's the movies, Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. Yeah, they had to like prove that like an actual family had that name, and it wasn't, you know, that you could get away with calling it Fockers.
Yeah. I mean, good God, that's the entire joke.
Yeah, that's kind of what it all, you know, it's like SNL movies, just all built on one joke.
Actually, I think that Nut Insider bit would fit a much better for like a news segment. Welcome back to Nut Insider. Today, we're going to be talking about the fattest nut drops of this week.
Fellas, get them out. There's that famous, like, I think it's a Hershey Kiss commercial that they do like I don't know if they've done it every year, but they've aired it for a couple years of like all of these like handsome men lined up wearing these Christmas colored shorts, like boxer shorts, and they jingle in time to the sound of bells for "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." The joke being that it is their nuts making the noises of the bells. I think it's for a Hershey Kiss commercial. It could be for something else. I can't say the word commercial today. I kind of don't know how I'm going to look up men jiggling their nuts Christmas commercial.
You should.
Let's see what...
You look it up right now and start recording your screen.
Yeah, let's see what comes up. Men jiggling they nuts Christmas commercial. Oh, it was a Kmart commercial. I see. Interesting. I guess it was for boxers then. I don't know. I guess because Hershey Kisses also do like a thing with bells for commercial stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find this. You've probably seen it.
You can find it. Look it up.
I mean, I just don't think, we need to include this into the video
version.
Look
up underwear. Look up men's underwear jingling balls.
Here, I'll send it to Emmy, but I don't think we should include this in the video version.
I think we should just upload this instead of those podcasts.
Just have that looping for like the whole thing.
Just in the background, but the opacity gets up to 100 by the end of the episode. it just keyframes from 0 to 100 throughout the entire episode.
Fading in.
How funny would that be though? That on a loop.
I feel like we should save that for the actual Christmas time to come around.
We should either do that, or for April Fools, we should just like find a funny like 3-second GIF and just have it looping and turn the opacity up. Hello, Marcy. Thank you for rubbing your face against the thing that's recording my voice.
Yeah, I just heard that bonk.
Thanks for that. Are you just here now?
These cats love intruding.
It's always, for some reason, just because we always do these episodes around the same time, it's always at least most of the way through before she just decides that she is gonna come see me and see what I'm up to.
You've ignored me for too long. It's time for attention.
Well, you were downstairs and I was busy, so maybe get over that one.
Ding dang.
Here
cats.
she goes again at the mic.
Oh yeah, I hear
Just
like
rubbing her face against it.
I think I heard some tongue noises.
Stop. It's so funny.
If you're gonna get on mic, you gotta meow.
Having cats has just been one of the most joyous parts of my life this year.
Let me put my cat on the mic.
I put my cat on the mic.
Meow.
Hi. If you chew this cord, I'm gonna throw you in the dumpster. I just recently got my earbuds to a comfortable formation on my desk where I could use them, and it didn't like mess with the space on my desk, but they fit pretty well into the setup. And then my cats chewed through my earbuds.
Oh,
So I had to fucking throw them away, and now I gotta buy new earbuds for like $20, which is stupid.
that sucks.
But I'm gonna, because I liked them.
Easier to replace the earbuds than the cat.
Yeah, but it's not any harder to throw out the cat than it is to throw out the earbuds. And then I also was like, oh, let me try my other pair of earbuds. I didn't want to use these, but I could at least try them. And then those were broken. I don't even know why those were broken.
God.
So I threw those away too. And I was like, great. Now I don't have any fucking earbuds. I'm just doing this thing where like my Bluetooth headphones I use for my phone, I'm just auxing into my PC when I want to use them. And then otherwise, I'm just going to use the earbuds as a secondary thing. Those are going to be like the main thing when I get them back. But these headphones I can wear for a long time. And they're the only like, they're not a set of like PC headphones. They're really like light. So they're a lot easier on the head, especially my big ass head over the course of like 3 to 5 hours, which I will sometimes sit here for.
I feel like I've never like minded having like over-ear headphones.
Hey, that's my pet frame. Stop it.
They've always been the most comfortable option for me, but it does help that I always have like, you know, a thick layer of hair that is acting as a padding for it at all times, so I never really like feel them, and I'm more used to having them on than off.
Yeah, no, see, like I mean, for one thing, I don't put my hair in between the headphone and my head unless it's just
Well,
like
the actual cup,
unless
don't
it
do
just
that.
gets caught in the mix, but I certainly don't prioritize it. I back my hair up behind my ears to put them on, but it's also like the other part of it is that other headphones, I just like have head issues. I also get migraines easy, and I can't buy Tylenol all the time, so I need to like preserve how my head feels. And I also just like was like, you know what, I'll go with this. I'm not gonna get rid of my other headphones because they're totally fine. But I'm gonna go with this as the headphone option and use the earbuds primarily when I get them back. But I'm gonna have these plugged into my microphone anyway, so I can hear myself when these are on, since they're so soundproofed. And then I can just unplug them when I want to Bluetooth to my phone. I would Bluetooth these to my computer because they work fine like that. But the reason for that, me not wanting to do that, is just because I don't want to balance which Bluetooth takes priority between my phone and my PC all the time.
Yeah.
Instead of just plugging in a cord and then it's PC headphones.
Yeah, it's good to
Because
not
they work
be
really well.
taking Tylenol all the time. You gotta be careful with that, because that's one of those things people don't ever talk about, the consequences of a lot of painkillers for stuff like that, or anything really, a lot of over-the-counter medication, is that it seems harmless for using it, and it is harmless to use in normal amounts, but it does do kidney damage over time. You will fuck up your kidneys by taking like Tylenol all the time.
Yeah, I don't take Tylenol all the time, but I certainly need it. My rendition of how often I buy it was very dramatic.
Gotta be careful about different medications, because they can help in one way, but it's never good to just be having a whole bunch of stuff.
I know, but I also medically require a bunch of stuff to function, so I need that stuff. I take a lot of prescriptions, and they make me happier.
Yeah.
I have a lot of issues and a lot of medicines for those issues, but they're very great. They help me a lot. Painkillers is not one of them because I'm not in pain all the time, so I don't need painkillers.
Well, you're not on Fent?
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl?
You're not on fentanyl?
Nah, I'm not on fentanyl.
Marcy has officially decided to loaf for him on my bread, on my bed. I was thinking about loafs a little too much for that sentence. So she's just there now. I'm assuming she'll go back to sleep because it's my cat's sleeping hours. It's nowhere near time for them to have fun by terrorizing me. So that's what I'm assuming. If you want to see pictures of my cats, I post them occasionally on Blue Sky.
Little babies.
And I'll probably post them to Instagram at some point, but I just mostly post me to Instagram. Instagram.
Blue Sky's a good place to be.
Yeah, you can follow me on Blue Sky if you want like updates like that. I don't do Twitter.
Oh, I also
don't use my Discord server like that.
We haven't plugged it, but we do have a closing shift Blue Sky, so you can go and follow that. Let me go and get you the @ for that.
No, I think I play. It's
well, it's in the description, but we never like mentioned that we have it.
I think I mentioned it because I made it during the last episode, if I remember correctly.
I think we made it in between.
No, because I made mine during the. I remember making.
You made
mine
yours during the
episode.
The closing shift one, though, we talked about like in between episodes.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we have one. You are all gonna follow
@closing shift show, and there's first thing I see on there, cat pic.
Yeah, I think I posted a cat pic on it just like yesterday.
An epic cat pic.
Because we have our pinned post, and then here's a cat pic for your Saturday. So if you want a cat pic, you can go over to Closing Shift on Blue Sky, and then follow us also.
And then get ready for the end of this episode.
Oh boy.
Thank you for joining us for episode 41 of Closing Shift, and we hope to see you again next Friday at this same time.
If you want to.
Just if you feel like it. You don't really, if you really feel like it. Okay, bye.